Okay, my friends, and now our new video is all about a very specific topic and a very specific title. The skincare tools I use at home and the order I recommend investing in them. As you know, I'm obsessed with all this stuff, and it's quite a joy for me to be able to experiment with everything and share what I've learned and what works for me with you. But also I know not everyone here is as interested in spending all the money or the time to figure this stuff out. So may I also share what I feel like really works, and also which order to invest if you haven't done any of this stuff yet, that I think will actually give you the quickest and best bang for your buck as you get into the entire process. So as far as the tools go, and in the order I recommend them, I would say, and you're going to recognize some of these from the video I just did previously to this about my skincare routine, because they're part of my routine. So when it comes to the first thing, icing. Now these are called fefes. They're cute, they're very practical because you don't get your fingers cold or icy or wet while you're using them. You do not need these. However, they're cute and they're very fun, and I like using them every morning because they're pretty to look at. You just need to ice your face. This is free, basically. Take a bag of peas, take a bag of ice, put it on your face, freeze your meat, basically. Get your meat frozen. We freeze our meat so that it stays good. I have surprisingly found, so does it work on your face. So when you're waking up, it feels so nice. It decreases inflammation and helps tighten and decrease pore size. It's something you have to keep doing, obviously, every morning. You can't just like do it once and think you're gonna get a permanent effect for the rest of your life, but it's a continual thing you can do that is very inexpensive and gives you so many rewards. I actually am shocked. I had no expectation on this. I was influenced by another YouTuber who kept icing her face in her videos to the point that I decided to give it a shot with a block of ice I found in my freezer. I liked the effect on myself so much that I invested in something cuter to use than the block of ice in my freezer, but I highly recommend free or buy a tool. There's ice rollers, there's a ton of products in the market. I just think keeping your meat cold is a very good thing, and it feels so nice. But I actually notice a difference when I wash my face. I can feel when I've iced the like literal sensation on my skin with my fingers feels better. It feels different. So cheap, easy, effective, don't sleep on it. It's just, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it actually. Kind of shocked. It's really effective. The other next thing, and again, it's actually funny that I'm gonna say these two things are the cheapest two things, and I highly recommend them, and I think that they do really make a difference. They're not gonna make you necessarily look younger, but they are going, well, this one actually might. This one less so, but it's gonna feel good, and it's gonna help your pore size and inflammation. Next up, microneedling. So this is a microneedling tool. It's got this little needles on it, and you roll it up and down your face. You don't need the Trini London one. I have Trini London's because she was really passionate about creating the tool because it's so useful and because it's so effective. So I bought hers because they live in London and I love her and her product line and wanted to support her. I also use her hyaluronic acid serum afterwards, but I have to say, you don't need Trini London's tool by any means. Go get an Amazon one that's got great reviews, and then replace your heads regularly so that they're gonna stay sharp and fresh for you, and clean them after you're using them every single time. But then use a very nice product. If I was recommending this to a friend, I would probably say, if you don't want to spend the money on the tool, don't get hers, go get the cheap one. But still, if you could have access to Trini's Plump Up Serum, I would recommend getting the serum. I think it's wonderful. It's got hyaluronic acid and different, I think there's 3 different peptides in it. So there's a really great level of product that's going to be very good to go underneath your skin. You don't want to use anything after you've microneedled because it will go deeper into your pores than if you just put it straight on your face without needling. So you want to make sure whatever you're putting underneath your skin is going to be very good for it. And this is one of those things. So those are the first two. Very simple, very rather inexpensive, because you can get this kind of tool for about $8 on Amazon. And then it's just about investing in the actual serum that you're going to put on your skin afterwards to help your skin once it's opened up. The next tool is a little bit more expensive, but I still love it, and it's called a Microderm abrasion tool. This is by the Daily Co. It's an Australian company. I love the company. If you've seen the last video, you've seen a million of her bottles of skincare. This is one of the Daily Co.'s products too. It's a Peel 2. This is the 10% salicylic and 5% mandelic acid. I use this once a week, roughly, every 6 days. So you just kind of turn it on like this. It's a little bit like an electric toothbrush if you think about it. And it's buzzing and it's kind of sucking. So what you're gonna do is kind of rub it on your face to pull off all the dead skin cells on the top layer. After you're done with that, you're gonna put on this peel, this acid peel, for about 5 minutes. I wake up and my face is beaming with reflective light because the surface is so smooth and so cleared out. So this is something I would never do it on a microneedling night. I would switch those off so you're not doing both at the same time. But using that is an amazing tool to really refresh your skin. A little bit like getting, it's not the same kind of technology, but a little bit like your own home hydrofacial. So then next up, now this is where we're getting into the more spendy territory. Next up, I'm gonna recommend this. Now, this is a Saluma. It's big, it's bulky. I got it in 2020. Yeah, 2020 is when I got this. This is a salon spa grade LED light. LED is really popular now. Back in 2020, it was a little bit more niche. It was something you could get only mostly at spas and salons. So that's why I have a salon spa quality one, because back then they didn't have the home tools yet. That was yet to come out. So this was a huge investment, and by far the biggest investment I've ever made into any tools. So you can actually find Salumas at spas that you can pay to use for like $50 or $100 a session just to have this light on your face. It's very powerful. I don't know how it compares to the newer LED lights on the market. However, it was an investment for me at the time that I still had really bad acne, or not really bad acne, but still had acne on a regular basis. And I was desperate for anything that would help. And one of the things that this does is it has different settings. And so do many of these other new, less expensive home design devices. But again, I don't know the power difference between them all, but this one has acne red light, which is that collagen boosting, healing, and glow giving setting, and also aches and pains, which is infrared light. So I loved this as an investment for myself or any family I might have in the future, because I thought it's good for my acne right now. That's why I purchased it for the thousands of dollars that it cost at the time. I don't know if they still even cost as much as they once did, but this was expensive. And when I got it for the acne mostly, but then also knowing it would help with collagen. And if I was ever injured or anyone that I loved was ever needing some recovery, this is also great for the infrared for aches and pains. So it's a multifaceted tool, and you can put it on your body wherever you want. I can tell you, when I noticed with LED, because I've used it for 4 years, is that I know it works. And what I noticed with my face is that the forehead especially looks shinier. And for anyone with oily skin, do not worry. It's not like I'm getting bigger oil glands. It's just that it's more reflective. So I know that the surface level of my skin is more and more even, to the point where it reflects light, like a shiny glass window or mirror reflects light. That kind of surface that's clear on your, smoother on your skin, will do the same. So this has given me that glowiness truly to my skin. And I also love it because it works on the tops of my hands. And now the drawback to this style of it is because it doesn't have that mask, like the Jason masks you see on Instagram and social media all the time, where people are walking around. That is a really good idea, because this thing I have to sit, if I do a regular session for 30 minutes, laying down. So I have to be meditating or kind of resting or taking a nap or something with this on top of me. So I do it less on my face than I would if I had the mask version that other people sell and use now. But like I said, back in the day, I didn't have that option, and I was just more using it as a treatment for acne. But I do sit with TV, and I'll put it on my lap with my hands on the top of it, and I definitely can tell a difference when I'm doing it regularly on this, again, the surface smoothness of my skin on my hands. They're not shiny on my hands, but they're super smooth and just even. It is something that is subtle, but definitely does work. And this, I don't know that you need to spend the money on Saluma. You can just try one of the home devices. Whatever you're going to use the most is going to be your biggest friend. So even if you're going to be more likely to use a mask, get the mask. Not this if you're not going to use it laying down. Now, this would be the last thing I would say. And the reason I'd say it last is because I use it on the smallest amount of surface area, and it was still quite expensive. But for the right person, this could be an amazing tool. So it's not something I wouldn't recommend. I just am very specifically recommending this for specific use. So this is a Face Gym Pro. There are other electrical devices that lift and tighten on the market. In the US, there's other ones. This one's, to my knowledge, or at least last year, wasn't allowed for some reason in the US or to be purchased there. So strange. I'm not sure why that was. But this thing, you set the levels between, I always go up to the highest level every morning, all the way up to this. And it will, when you use a guiding fluid, I use just aloe vera gel from Whole Foods, you put the gel on and then you roll this, and it will stimulate your muscles to contract. So it's kind of like, they call it face gym, because they say it's like weightlifting for your face. You're kind of impulsing your muscles to move and contract, to tighten and lift. So it's a variation if you don't want to use a gua sha. By the way, I broke my gua sha the other day, so I I could not include a gua sha now that I think about it, and that's why I didn't pull it out for you. Gua sha would be what I probably would recommend for most people before this. But if you have a lot of money to spend and this specific area is a problem for you, not problem, but something you want to work on, is tightening and lifting in this jawline area or the underneath the chin, this thing has definitely helped me with that, and it's basically the main area I target this on. I wouldn't have honestly purchased this if I knew that was the only area I was really going to use it for. I thought I was going to use it for my full face, but I've realized that it's so powerful, I don't want this area to become more gaunt or like tightened, because I don't want the difference between here and here to be so hollow. So I don't really pulse this area, but it's fine on my jawline and under my chin where I want it to be tighter and lifted, but I don't like it up here around my eyes. However, I will use it up on my frontalis muscle. So up here I will use it and it will pull, and I can feel it pulling all the little muscles above to lift my forehead basically, which is something that as we get older is something that happens, is the frontalis kind of droops, and that kind of brings everything down. So this will kind of help lift up that in that area, and also keeps this area very tight. So this would be the last recommendation, because I don't think it's as universally applicable to most people or what they're looking for. But like I said, at the end of the day, if you're just getting started, I would try these two, icing in whatever form you want, and microneedling. I didn't think either would work, and I've been incredibly impressed with both. And along with the other tools, I have amazing skin, at least for myself. It's not the world's best skin, but it is certainly my best skin. And I'm so happy that I'm able to share this with you, and hopes that it helps you too. May something wonderful happen to you today.